All right, guys, Darren from FBA Elite, and welcome back to another video. So in this week's video, we're going to be talking about 5 very common mistakes that Amazon FBA beginners make with the Amazon FBA product research. And if you make any of these mistakes when choosing a product for your Amazon FBA business, there is a very good chance your business is doomed to failure before it even begins. So I've got 5 mistakes I want to talk you through and what you guys need to be aware of to ensure you do not fall into any of these traps. So up first, we're going to be taking a look at the shower curtain niche, as there are 2 very common mistakes in this particular niche that I want you guys to be aware of. Let's fire off X-ray from Helium 10 so we can see the stats behind this niche. And the first mistake that I want to talk about today is more important than it's ever been in the past. With some of the changes that have happened with Amazon over the past 12 months, this first point is just so important. If you get it wrong, your business will fail. There's no doubt about it if you get this wrong. And I'm talking about the price point of the products that you're looking at. Now, in the past, I have sold Amazon products all the way down to, I think the cheapest Amazon product I ever sold was $9.99. And I still see people coming to me with product ideas where you'd be selling in the £10 to £15 region. And in the past, I've talked about how new non-VAT registered sellers can consider products as low as £15. But I think now we need to erase that advice completely. And as a new seller on Amazon, I don't want you to look at any products below the £20 price point, preferably the £25 price point. And the reason for that is that there won't be any profit left in it for you if you sell cheap products. And there are 2 big reasons for this. And this has evolved since I started selling back in 2018. But the 2 big reasons why you'll struggle to make money below £25 or below £20 is, number one, PPC. PPC is more competitive than ever, and you're going to need to spend more on PPC than ever before. And number 2, as of the 1st of August 2024, and we've talked about this in previous videos, new sellers now have to pay VAT on Amazon fees, so the fulfillment fee and the referral fee. So that's really eating into profits as well. So if you're selling a product for maybe, say, £15, which is the old advice, the old minimum level I used to talk about. If you sold a product at £15, let's say your landed cost, the cost to source that product and get it shipped to the UK and to the Amazon fulfillment center, let's say that was £5. That leaves £10 in it for you. Now, you're also going to be paying referral fees, which is 15% of your sale price. So if we bring up a calculator, let me bring this over so you guys can see. Let's do £15 times by 0.15, which is 15%. That's £2.25. Don't forget, you've got to pay VAT on that as well now. So we times that by 1.2. So your referral fee alone is £2.70. We'll try and remember that for later. And then on a product like this, let's say, I don't know, Let's go to the Amazon FBA rate card and try and see what sort of category it'd fall into, maybe into small parcel or standard parcel tiers. Let's say it weighed maybe 900 grams. So on the generous side, only going to cost you £3 as a fulfillment fee. So let's take £3 times that by 1.2. So you've got £3.60 now instead of £3. Add on the £2.70 referral fee. That's £6.30. So you've got your £15 selling price, you're minusing £6.30, and then you're minusing £5 of your landed cost. All of a sudden, there's £3.70 left in it for you. And that just isn't enough, because you're going to be spending on PPC, probably somewhere in the region of 70p to £1 per click, but that varies massively depending on which niche you're in. That margin is going to get destroyed straight away. Now, I've always talked about percentages in the past when it comes to your profit margin. So I've always said aim for 30% profit margin. So if you were selling at £20, you want £6 of profit. Or I've talked about return on investment. So I've always said aim for 100% ROI. So if you're investing £10 in a product, you want to be able to make up to £10 profit back. But I think that is confusing things for cheaper products especially. So I think it's the very simple way to think about it is this. Is on any product you're considering selling on Amazon, you want there to be at least £6 to £7 of profit margin to work with. So by the time you've spent out on PPC, there will still be enough in the pot to make it worthwhile for you. So that's why low price point products are one of the biggest mistakes you can make at the moment. £20, £25 plus is where you want to be if you want to have a chance of selling and making a profit on Amazon. Anyone can sell on Amazon. It's really not hard to sell on Amazon, but making a profit on Amazon, that is where the real skill comes in. So going back to the shower curtain niche, there is a second common mistake, especially in this niche, that new sellers fall into, and it's completely understandable why. If you are looking to launch a product on Amazon, what's the first thing you want to ensure of that product? Does it sell? But people make this massive mistake of going into niches and choosing a product where demand is too high. Let me just hide the webcam a moment so you guys can see this sales column. You can see here in the top 10 to 20 results, look how many sellers we've got here, selling 4 figures worth, over 1,000, just under 4,000, 4,400, etc. This is not a good niche for a new seller. You want to be finding a niche that is a good match to your own budgetary restrictions. So if you've only got a few £1,000s to invest in inventory, this is a terrible match, because although there's high demand in this niche, you won't have the inventory to be able to launch and get ranked in this niche. You're going to run out of inventory if you can afford to launch in the first place. So it's very important you look at your budget and you're realistic about how many units you can afford to order, and then go into a niche that matches that. So if you've got £5,000 to invest in inventory, maybe you want to find a niche where you're selling 100 to 300 units per month in order to get ranked in the top 10 to 15 organic results. You do not want to be going into a niche where all of the sellers in the top 10 to 15 organic results are selling, well, you can see here, 4 figures or close to 500. That's not a niche where you want to be competing as a new seller. And if you make that mistake, all that will happen is you'll get your inventory to Amazon, you'll spend a fortune on PPC, your ranks will never improve because your sales velocity, you'll never outsell these guys, and then you won't have enough stock to do it anyway. So important you are realistic about your budget, how much you can invest in inventory, and find a niche that suits your budget. So that's the second biggest mistake I see. The third biggest mistake, and I want to give 2 examples of this as I want to be clear about what I mean when I say it. So a lot of sellers don't consider seasonality, or disregard it, or misinterpret it. So the first product I want to show you, this is a table runner. Now this isn't a seasonal product, but it does have a seasonal peak. So let's bring up X-Ray from Helium 10 again, and we're going to look at the sales history for the search term. I'm not sure why it's saying NA at the moment. Oh, there it is, just loaded. And what we can see is that throughout the year, it sells fairly consistently. You know, there's close to 8 to 10,000 of search volume on this particular search term throughout the year. Then we've got a big spike in November and December as everyone's making their dining table look nice for Christmas. So great, this product has got a seasonal spike. So I don't class this product as seasonal, but at the same time, if you're doing product research in November or December, you need to be aware of the year-round demand so you don't over-order or under-order depending on when you are doing your product analysis. So this isn't a seasonal product, and I'd have no issue with someone going into a niche like this. But you'll see something similar in the charts if we look at barbecue accessories here, I've got as an example. And again, if we launch X-Ray from Helium 10 and bring up the search volume history for this particular search term, you will see, well, at the moment we're coming towards the end of October, demand is dropping off. And if we look at the year-round view, look at this. We've got a big spike in the summer months, as you would expect for barbecue accessories. But this is a terrible product for new sellers. I just realized I'm blocking the screen there. You can see there it drops off as we come towards the end of the year and out of the summer months. This is a terrible choice for a new seller because demand throughout the rest of the year is basically non-existent. We go from a search volume of over 30,000 per month to 1 to 2,000, which is a tiny amount, and you will have surplus inventory. You're going to order based on these, and then you're going to get, by the time the inventory arrives, it's probably going to be the end of the summer, and then you've got lots of inventory sat in the Amazon fulfillment center that you can't sell because there's no demand. So you need to be aware of seasonality when choosing a product and when you're actually doing the product research, so you know whether you're analyzing during a peak season or a low point in demand, and you don't order too much stock or too little stock. So that's the third biggest mistake I see, and I've got 2 more to go. And one of them is absolutely massive. I'm going to give you an example. And I see sellers, especially people that I mentor, have to flag this for them all the time. So I know this problem is rife. It's everywhere. So that's why I wanted to include it in this video. Now, just before I get there, before I get to those final 2 mistakes, Helium 10 have an offer for October. So we've got 12 days left, 12, 13 days left of October. And this is a really good offer if you're starting Amazon FBA at the moment, or even if you're existing Amazon seller. This is 35% off for 6 months. You probably can't read that, but there'll be an affiliate link in the pinned top comment, and you can see there it brings it down from $99 to $64 per month. So 35% off for your first 6 months is the cheapest way to buy this at the moment. And remember, you don't have to stay signed up for 6 months. You can sign up for this offer and only sign up for a month or two if that's all that you want to. But certainly this is one of the best offers I've seen on Helium 10 lately, getting 35% off for the first 6 months. So on to mistake number 4, and we're going to be taking a look at the rock salt lamp niche. And this is one of the biggest mistakes I see from new sellers, and that is not having what I call a VSP, which is your visual selling point. So if we take these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 products there. If you just look at them like this, I know you can't quite see them because it's cut off at the bottom. Out of these 5, where is your eye drawn to straight away? For me, it's the one with the packaging. Is the packaging good? Not necessarily, but what it is, it's a visual selling point. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 listings. They look the same. And you need to be launching a product with a visual selling point. Remember, the most important element to your listing on Amazon is this box here. You know, this kind of 200 pixels by 200 pixels little window, which will persuade a customer to click on your listing. So you need to have something visual that will help you stand out in the search results. If you stand out in the search results, you're going to have a good click-through rate. And if you've got a good click-through rate, you're going to make more sales. And if you've got click-through and sales, Amazon are going to boost you up the ranks because that's all they care about. They want to know if your product sells, and if it does, they're going to put it in front of customers. So there are many ways that you can give your product a visual selling point, and I've talked about them in other videos, and I'm not going to go into it today, but I just wanted to flag it as a mistake. Do not launch a generic product. Do not launch a product thinking your brand name or your logo is going to give you a visual selling point. It's not. Do not think you're going to sell well just because you've got a better listing in terms of you've done a bit more optimization compared to the competition. You need something visual in your main image that will help you stand out in the search results. And number 5, this is the big one. This is the mistake I'm seeing again and again and again, even from people that already sell on Amazon, often forget this. And we're going to use the bread bin niche as an example. And the reason this is so important is if you miss this, if you make this mistake, there is a high chance the product you choose, you're going to lose an awful lot of money on. So let me bring up X-Ray again. And I want to show you a real world example of how this works. And I should probably speak to Helium 10 about this as well, actually, because it would be helpful if they included this in their data set. But what happens in a lot of niches is you look at the stats and you might think, okay, the price point in this niche is suitable, even though it isn't actually, but say it was. Say the price point was good and demand levels are where they wanted to be, and you had a look at the fees and you thought, okay, this niche is looking good. The problem is, what a lot of sellers don't realize is there is another metric which Amazon kind of hide from you until you do the calculations or until they start charging you fees when you start selling on Amazon. And that is what is called the dimensional weight of the product. So if we take this first product here, this Morphy Richards bread bin, which is sold by Amazon, it's classed as a standard parcel, which is great. I always recommend people avoid bulky and heavy products because of import costs are high and Amazon fulfillment costs are high. And the dimensions aren't too bad either because they fit into the standard parcel tier. And the weight there at 1.85 kilograms, you think, okay, this is doable. So if we look this up on the latest Amazon rate card, so this is the Amazon rate card as of the 1st of October, 2024. Let's go down to the fees again. Bear with me a second while I find the relevant page. So they said this was a standard parcel product, which is less than 45 by 34 by 26. And if we go back to the bread bin and take a look, 40 by 20 by 27. So great, this is a standard parcel and it only weighs 1.85 kilograms. Fantastic. That means that's going to cost us in less than 1.9 kilograms here, £3.82 plus VAT, don't forget, as the Amazon fulfillment fee only. That doesn't include the 15% referral fee. So you think, okay, you calculate that into your figures and you place a big bulk order thinking you're going to make all this money. Now what's going to happen as soon as you make your first sale on Amazon are going to charge you the fee based on dimensional weight. So let's go back over to the bread bin. Let's look at these dimensions. We've got 40.6, if I bring up the calculator again. So we've got 40.6 centimeters times by 20 centimeters times by 27.3 centimeters. This is the formula Amazon give us, by the way, to do this. Then divide it by 5,000. And this is your dimensional weight. And Amazon will take either the actual weight or dimensional weight, whichever is heavier, And that is what they use to apply their fulfillment fee. Now, all of a sudden, in Amazon's eyes, this product weighs 4.43 kilograms. So if we go back to the rate card, 4.43 kilograms would put you into this one. So instead of paying £3.82 plus VAT, you're now paying £6.01 plus VAT. So probably around about £2.50 more per unit. And for most products, a difference of £2.50. When I talked about earlier having a minimum profit margin of £6 to £7, £2.50 will be the difference between this product being viable and not being viable. So if you make that mistake and don't check the dimensional weight for your product and you get caught out like that, that could be enough to destroy your product and destroy your Amazon FBA business. Now, if those 5 mistakes haven't put you off starting your own Amazon FBA business, there is the affiliate link to Helium 10 in the pinned top comment, that 35% off for 6 months. And what I'm going to do now is pop up a video which shows you my top 3 methods for finding products to sell on Amazon, and I'll see you guys over there.